Hey guys, Maximus here, and today we're going to be talking about roofs. And if you go to CE Owens at Owens Construction, you're going to see an article here, and I just think that it's a great article. It's called Roofer Youngstown, Ohio, What to Ask a Roof CEO. So there's actually 4 different bullet points here that I want to draw your attention to. On number 1, a roofer background check. You know, how can you do a roofer background check? We're going to be talking about how to examine roofer feedback, because some of the feedback can be biased, you know, from competitors or just somebody that you know, just wants to screw around. And then contacting the roofing company, and then the questions that you should ask a roofing company in Youngstown, Ohio. So as we come down, we see that the article brings out that there's a lot of roofing companies out there, and Owens Roofing or Owens Construction can actually get you a free roof if you have storm damage and stuff like that. And they got some great ways to do this, and I recommend that way. And you know, you can ask Mike about it whenever you give him a call. But so how do you do a background check on a roofing company in Youngstown, Ohio? Well, there's 4 different avenues. The first one, of course, is the Google Plus page. You can go to the Google Plus page, anybody could leave a review. You know, it's kind of a newer type of a thing, so you know, don't expect there to be a lot of reviews on the Google Plus page. But if somebody took the time to read it or to leave feedback, you know, it's a worthwhile thing. But the best one is the Better Business Bureau, and there's a lot of reason why the Better Business Bureau is a good resource whenever you're trying to do a background check on a roofing company. Number 1, it's free for anybody to leave it, but they have to fill out their name, they have to be verified, and so on and so forth. The Google Plus page, and people that leave feedback there or Yelp do not have to be verified, okay? So whenever they leave feedback on a Better Business Bureau, you know that a real person is leaving the feedback and it's not a competitor or whatnot. And the Better Business Bureau checks the feedback to verify that it's real, and the contractor can actually challenge it. Whereas a Google Plus page, you know, whatever people leave you is what they leave you. The same thing with Yelp. Now Angie's List, you know, this is kind of like you can't, for the consumer and the contractor, they both have to pay Angie's List. So I don't know if, I mean, that kind of seems unbiased, because then the more they spend, you know, the more they can pay to be advertised on Angie's List and so on and so forth. So it is a nice resource, you know, for a lot of people. But you know, then there's that thing where, you know, companies can pay, so it's kind of like raises a red flag. So the Better Business Bureau is good because, number 1, you can see how long the people have been in business. They got their name and phone number, and then they have their rating right there. They scale them A+ to F. So that's one of the good things about the Better Business Bureau. Now here we talked a little bit about examining the roofer feedback. Okay, so we want to reiterate in this paragraph that the Better Business Bureau is probably the most trusted of all the resources, because things are verified, you know, by the, number 1, the company and the customer. It's a free service. It's not like Angie's List where you got to pay for it. So, you know, people are more apt to go and leave good, genuine feedback. Once again, Google Plus and Yelp, you know, that anybody could get on there, create an account, leave feedback, and this could be, you know, competition as well. Now, the next thing that you want to do when you're contacting a roofing company in Youngstown or anybody else is do that background check, and then go ahead and ask the roofing company about the feedback, the good feedback and the bad feedback, and just sit back, wait for their response. Number 1, by calling the roofing company, okay, you know that there's somebody to answer the phone, and this can tell you 2 things. Number 1, you know, there's somebody that's there answering the phone, so you're going to have somebody to talk to. Or number 2, if they don't answer the phone, you know, you just got to kind of wonder, you know, if it's business hours and everything like that, or if they don't get right back to you. So a lot of times, you know, we I have trouble getting to the phone too. So the other thing too is about the feedback. Now, to me, feedback is more believable if it has a little bit of negative feedback as well. So either number one, if it's all pristine and clean, number one, they're not doing much, or number two, they figured out a way to manipulate the system. Either way, if something's just so picture perfect, that kind of raises a red flag with me. I'm not saying anything. There's good companies out there that have 100% feedback, and they go the distance. But whenever they're way too clean, then you got to kind of question it here and there. Okay, so let's go on to questions that you should ask a roofer and why. And number one, in Youngstown, Ohio, are you a licensed roofer? The state of Ohio does not require you to get a license. But the fact that a company would go that extra distance and get a license for their company tells you something about them. Now, the other thing that you want to make sure of is that they carry workers' compensation. If they get hurt on your house, guess what, buddy? It's your insurance. So you want to make sure that they're carrying workers' compensation on their workers. And then there's another kind of insurance called liability insurance. If they strip your roof off, it starts raining and ruins everything in your house, what are you going to do? Well, they need to have liability insurance that covers that kind of thing. Okay, so now here's another question. Will they take the old roof off before putting the new one on? I mean, you don't want to put a brand new roof over garbage, right? So that's something that you want to hear the word yes to. How about drip edge? A lot of them, they don't install a drip edge at the end of the shingles. They just let it roll off the roof or anything, So ask them if they have drip edge. Here's another interesting question. Will you leave my gutters undamaged by using ladder stabilizers? Don't you just hate when people lean their ladder up against your gutter and it dents it in there? And how about a dumpster? Will they get a dumpster for the debris or the garbage from the old roof? And then maybe you can ask them, what will you do if it rains or that you meet inclement weather or something of that nature? What are your backup plans? Ask them if they're local to the Youngstown, Ohio area, and then make sure you ask for their address too. Okay. Is there warranty information on a new roof? There's a 25-year minimum new roof warranty, so you want to verify that the new roof has a warranty on it. Now here's another question. Sometimes underneath the shingles, if a roof has been leaking for some time, the roof may be rotted underneath there. And what's the cost of that decking? What's the cost of plywood if my roof is rotted? And here's another question a lot of people don't think to ask about is, but what will you do with my landscaping? What will you do with my yard to protect it while you're doing the roof project? Because there is a lot of debris, a lot of heavy equipment coming in there. A lot of times they'll have a crane put the shingles on the roof for heavy trucks. So what are they going to do about that? And then number 13, what's the name of the person that I'll be communicating? You want to talk to the horse's mouth, right? You don't want to talk to his other end. You want to talk to somebody that's in charge. So get the name of the person that's going to be in charge on that project. And then finally, ask them if you can have a written estimate, even before the job begins. So I hope this video will show some people, what to do about, asking roofers before the project begins. And this is Max with Owens Construction.